So how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Fallout 4 video here on my channel today. And I thought I'd do a bit of a compilation based around the majority of the unique energy weapons that you can find in Fallout 4. So there's going to be a good like 14 weapons that you will see here in this video. And the reason I'm making this is to kind of wrap up the rare weapon series that I've been doing on the channel recently. I think after this video I've covered at least 90% of the unique weapons that you can find in Fallout 4, and considering a lot of the weapons that I haven't covered yet are energy weapons, I thought I'd kind of throw once again the majority of them into one video for you guys today. Now before we do get into this, I do want to give a huge shout out to a buddy of mine known as Good Idea Gaming. He's recently started posting on his YouTube channel again, and he posts these kind of crazy and funny story videos that I'm pretty sure some of you guys out there would enjoy. So I thought I'd give him a shout out today. If you guys can do me a huge favor and check out his channel down in the description down below and subscribe to him, that would be greatly appreciated. And with all that being said, let's jump straight into this. So to start things off here today, I'm going to be covering a few of the weapons that I haven't yet covered on the channel yet. Starting that off with the Good Intentions, a unique version of the laser rifle that causes enemy to frenzy upon a critical hit. To get this weapon, you will want to make your way down to the Quincy Ruins that can be located directly here on your map. Now the Quincy Ruins is no place to mess with. This is a serious area that comes with a bunch of raiders that are not afraid to attack you straight away, and they are quite powerful as well. So make sure you do come here prepared for the fight ahead, and you essentially want to make your way on top of the bridge that's above the Quincy Ruins itself. And to do this, you'll need to make your way onto the roof of any of the buildings. You can do that in pretty much anywhere that you like. The way I ended up getting onto the roof was just simply going through the side there, as you guys can see. And when you're eventually on the roof, you will find a mini bridge that leads you on to the main bridge. Once on the main bridge, go ahead and make your way around the bridge itself, and you'll come across like a ramped off area that will lead you on to the top of the bridge. And on top of the bridge on the top floor is exactly where you will find the raider known as Clint, who will be holding the Good Intentions. Go ahead and kill Clint, and on the floor, of course, he will then drop the Good Intentions, ready for you guys to pick up, being the first unique weapon of the compilation. Coming up next, we're going to be taking a look at the Survivors Special. Once again, another weapon that I have never covered on the channel before. And to get this, you'll need to progress through the quest known as the Lost Patrol, which is pretty much a Brotherhood of Steel side quest. Now granted, I don't believe you actually have to join the Brotherhood of Steel faction completely to actually complete this, but the quest itself is given to you by Captain Cows on the Prydwen. Once he gives you the quest, it will pretty much task you to find some of the recon team members, and to do this you'll have to follow a distress signal and go to certain locations to actually find them. Now to save you guys time, I will be showing you guys the individual locations for these on the map. So the first one can be located right here on your map. Once again, if you just follow the distress signal from the radio, you'd eventually come across here anyway. But once you see the dead body on the floor, go ahead and loot the holotape off it and listen to the holotape. Once you've listened to the holotape, that will give you the second location to go to, and this will basically be over at the National Guard training yard. And once you're here, you will want to make your way through the main or front door, and not any other side doors. Just make sure that you go straight through the front or main door. From there, the dead body will pretty much be on the very first floor in the back room on the right. And once again, go ahead and loot the body for the holotape, and that will now give you the third location, which is pretty much over at the satellite array, which once again is literally just across from the National Guard training yard there. And once you're over in the satellite array, it will be in the back right satellite. You'll have to kind of climb your way up the stairs and eventually into this little shack, where once again you will find the third holotape. Now when you listen to the third holotape, it will basically send you over to a bunker in the northern areas of the map. And some of you guys may have stumbled across this bunker when you were first playing and wondered how you actually get inside of here. And this is how you do it, through this specific quest line. Now when you arrive over here, you will have to actually go ahead and go onto the terminal to unlock the door. And as soon as you do that, make a quick save, because it's here where things can go quite wrong if you want to do it in a certain way. Now inside of the bunker, you'll pretty much meet somebody known as Paladin Brandis. Now Here is where you can do it in two different ways. The first way is to basically try and persuade him to join the Brotherhood. And for those of you who don't know, Paladin Brandis, as soon as you meet him, he is holding, once again, that unique weapon known as the Survivor Special. But if you can persuade him to join the Brotherhood, basically he will then go to the Brotherhood of Steel Pridwin, and on there you can go ahead and talk to him, and he will give you the Survivor Special that way. But if you're like me and fail the persuasion check, which once again is the reason why I suggested that you guys quick save, you can just kill him. So if you fail the persuasion check, you can quickly go ahead and kill him if that is the route that you do want to take, and you will be able to loot the Survivor Special from his body, or it will be on the floor directly next to him. Go ahead and pick it up, and once again, the special or unique ability for this is that it does more damage the lower the health that you're at, which can definitely come in handy in certain situations. And while we're on the subject of the Brotherhood of Steel, why not check out the Sentinel's PLASMACASTER, a unique version of the plasma rifle that is sold by Tegan on the Pridwin after reaching the rank of Sentinel with the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, to reach that rank, you do have to have completed all of the main Brotherhood of Steel quest lines, and of course completely joined them as a faction. And once you've completed all of the main quest lines, you will then become a Sentinel, and this will then be available from Tegan once again on the Pridwin. And now we move on to one of the best energy unique weapons that you can probably find within Fallout 4, and this of course is the Alien Blaster, a weapon that I have previously covered, but because it is one of the best energy weapons that you can find, that is one of the most unique ones as well, it fits perfectly into this compilation. Now, to find this, it's more of a random encounter. The best way I can explain this to you guys is to just play the game normally, and eventually you should be able to hear like a spaceship crashing down from the skies, and it will eventually land into a location. Now, if you are like me and completely miss that happening, you can just go to the location, which will be marked here on your map. You can see some of the surrounding areas as well, just for reference there, and you'll know it happened when you see all of the trees on fire, and you'll basically see a spaceship that's crashed in the ground. And once again, if this isn't here for you just yet, just keep playing the game for a while until it eventually does happen. Now, when you see the spaceship, there'll basically be this green blood alien trail basically that will lead you to an alien. So if you just keep following that blood trail all the way until eventually you go into a cave, inside of the cave sitting down, you will find an alien that is very hostile. So go ahead and take him out very quickly, and he will have the Alien Blaster plus the unique Alien Blaster ammo waiting for you guys to go ahead and pick up. And once again, this is one of my personal favorites just because it's one of the most unique weapons that you could possibly find within Fallout 4. Coming up next, we're going to be taking a look here at the Righteous Authority, which is pretty much a variant of the standard laser rifle that's been personally modified by Paladin Danse to have the Lucky modifier on it, which pretty much doubles the critical damage, and a critical meter feels 15% faster when using this weapon in VATS. Now, to obtain this, it's pretty much a end mission side quest reward for completing the side quest known as Call to Arms. A lot of you guys may have already done this because it is a quest that you can get very early on, and it's a quest that begins with the Cambridge police station. You guys may remember this when probably making your way towards Diamond City and picking up that radio signal. But if you essentially make your way over to the Cambridge police station and help Paladin Danse, he'll pretty much be there, and there'll be a lot of ghouls trying to attack him. If you help him, he will then give you the quest when he eventually goes into the main building itself, known as Call to Arms. And this quest is pretty simple. You just gotta follow him around for a little while into the Arc Jet Systems building. This is also where you will find the junk jet, by the way. But essentially, once you've completed this mission, you followed him all the way in there and completed the tasks that you need to do inside of the building, at the very end of the quest itself, he will then give you the Righteous Authority, another unique weapon to add to that collection of yours. Coming in for the next two weapons, these are both vendor-based weapons. The first one is known as Old Faithful, which is pretty much a unique version of the laser pistol that does double the damage when the target's health is at full, and this can be sold by Arturo in the Diamond City market for a fairly reasonable price as well. Once again, the price does vary depending on your character build. And then coming in for the next one, this is known as Experiment 18A, and this rifle pretty much has the legendary prefix known as Rapid, which grants the weapon a 25% faster fire rate and a 15% faster reload speed. Now the weapon itself is actually fairly simple to obtain. In fact, all you need to do is have made your way down into the Institute. So you do have to, I've got through the story a little bit until you're eventually made your way into the Institute. Now inside of the Institute, you'll come across a vendor known as the Synth Requisition Officer, and she'll be standing the Experiment 18A waiting for you guys to go ahead and purchase from her. And now we move on to once again one of the better weapons of the compilation in my opinion, the Last Minute. This is pretty much a unique version of the Gauss rifle, which causes 50% extra limb damage, of course having the crippling legendary prefix on it. Now this one, it's quite a process to actually obtain if you haven't sided with the Minutemen. You do have to complete a bunch of the Minutemen quests to actually do this. Now we'll have a link down in the description down below to a full detailed tutorial, but I'll give you guys a quick summary right now. And this basically begins near the start of the game. I don't know if you guys do remember a quest known as Freedom Calls, where essentially you help out Preston Garvey, and then when you help him out in Concord, he will then go back to Sanctuary. Now when he goes back to Sanctuary and you basically talk to him again, he will ironically give you another quest known as Sanctuary, which pretty much asks you to just use your settlement and stuff like that and help out with the settlement in Sanctuary. And then when you complete that quest entirely and then report back to him again, he will then give you a series of so-called mini quests, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know about these mini quests, where essentially they task you to go ahead and help out other settlements that are in need of help. So you get a bunch of these, I think around 1 to 3 of them, and when you complete enough of those, he will then give you one of the main Minutemen quests known as Taking Independence. And basically this quest is a really fun one where you essentially have to take back the castle from the Mirelurks and the Mirelurk Queen that has taken home there. So you have to go ahead and clear all of those out. And once you've completed the Taking Independence quest and report back to him again, he will then give you a series of, once again, mini quests that you'll have to complete again. So you just have to go around and help out some of the other settlements and just do that around 1 to 3 times. And eventually, when you've done that and then go back to the castle area, you should see somebody roaming around the castle known as Ronnie Shaw. Upon speaking to Ronnie Shaw, she will then give you the main quest in actually getting this weapon known as Old Guns. And this quest is fairly simple to do. I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but it will pretty much take you down into the castle's armory and have you build artillery for the castle itself. And once you've done that and completed the whole quest, you will now have Ronnie Shaw as a merchant who can sell things to you. And as you probably guessed by now, she'll be selling the Last Minute Gauss rifle. And in my opinion, I've already stated this in the video, but this is one of the better unique energy weapons that you will find within Fallout 4. Now next up, we have the prototype UP-77, also known as the Limitless Potential there, but this is pretty much a laser rifle that basically has unlimited ammo capacity, so you'll never have to reload this weapon ever. And there's another weapon like this you'll see here in the compilation next as well, but to get this you'll need to head over to this location on your map. It's pretty much over at the University Point, and once you're in the main area of University Point, to the right side of it, you should find a bank. And when you make your way inside and then turn right, you should come across a door where there's a novice terminal that you will need to hack to open the door. And then once you've hacked the terminal, make your way through the door, then down the stairs to the vault area. Now when in the vault area, once again, you will have to hack a novice terminal to actually get the vault door open. But inside of the vault, there's actually quite a few interesting things in here. Now, you do have to have master lockpicking to actually get this. This is the only real downside to this, if that isn't something that you guys already have. But basically, behind one of the master safes in there, there'll be nothing inside of there but a button that you can actually press. Go ahead and press the button and it will basically unlock a secret door within the vault itself, as you guys can see by the gameplay. And inside of this room, you will find the Limitless Potential lying there on the table, waiting for you guys to go ahead and pick up. Another weapon that's very similar to this is a weapon known as the Wazer Rifle. Yep, it's literally known as the Wazer Rifle. It's a weapon that used to be in Fallout 3, I do believe, and is now back in Fallout 4. And this is an end game reward, so you do have to have completed the majority of the game to actually get this, and it's basically through the main quests. I do believe this can be done with several different factions, but the faction that I ended up doing this with was the Brotherhood of Steel. Big spoilers ahead, guys, just a quick warning there for spoilers. But basically, towards the end of the game, specifically with the Brotherhood and various other factions as well, when you're done taking out the Institute, and once again, if you're with the Institute, this will be when you're done doing one of the last quests in the game, you'll come across like a synth version of Sean, and he'll be waiting towards one of the end of the missions. You pretty much be impossible to miss him at this point, and when you speak to him, you'll be given the option to send him back to the faction of your choice. So whatever faction that you went with, you'll essentially send him back to that. So for me, of course, because I'm with the Brotherhood, I ended up sending him back to the Pridwin. And whenever you've sent him back to the faction's main base, or whichever faction that you chose, and you speak to him in that faction, so I actually went ahead and spoke to him on the Pridwin, he will then give you a holotape that you'll need to listen to. Upon listening to the holotape and speaking to Sean again, he will then give you the option to send him to whichever settlement that you like. For me, this was Sanctuary Hills. And here is where the glitch comes into play for a few people out there. It's only a few people, but this did happen to me. And upon waiting weeks in game and checking back in intervals and leaving the cell that he's in and trying a bunch of different stuff for about an hour and a half, he just would not spawn anywhere. I checked all over the place in Sanctuary, checked back at the Pridwin again. There was just no luck there, so I didn't get him to spawn for some reason. He just glitched out and he just wouldn't spawn at Sanctuary for me literally anywhere. But basically, when you send him back to your settlement, whichever settlement that you chose, he should be there for you. Hopefully the glitch doesn't happen to you, and when you speak to him, he will give you a list of unmarked quests, which basically are very simple things. There's 3 in total, and they're literally as simple as finding one item around the wasteland, which you can normally find, which you probably have already on you, and literally just give it to him. So these are things like biometric scanners, microscopes. He may ask you to get, a freaking aluminium can for all you know. I think it can be a little bit different each time, but when you give him the item that he's looking for, he will give you something in return. And when you do this 3 times, he will then give you the Wazer rifle. Once again, being a unique weapon that you can pretty much shoot endlessly and never have to reload. And finally, moving on to the next weapon, this is Virgil's rifle. And as you've probably guessed by now, this is carried by Virgil himself. Virgil is someone who you will encounter during some of the main quests for any faction really. And eventually, there's 2 things you can do here. You can either go ahead and just straight up pickpocket it from him, if that is something that you do want to do, or you can convince him to kill himself during the miscellaneous quest known as Virgil's Cure, where essentially he will task you to find a serum that will essentially help him, that can be found inside of the Institute. And if you want to be a little bit evil and go back to him and convince him that the serum isn't there and that his conditions are only going to get worse, he will then want to kill himself, of course, and you will get the weapon that way. Or you can, in my opinion, the better or the easier way, once again, just literally pickpocket straight from him to actually get the weapon itself. Now next up, we have a 2-for-1 here. We have Lorenzo's artifact as well as the Zeta gun. The Zeta gun is not really too special, but it is still unique in the fact that it's just labeled the Zeta gun, which is pretty weird, but we'll get into that here shortly. But Lorenzo's artifact is essentially a very unique version of the Gamma gun that has telekinetic abilities. So when you shoot the thing, it's literally going to kind of like push everything away from you in a sense. And you'll see some gameplay of that here as well in the background. But to get this, you'll need to complete the quest known as the Secret of the Cabot House. Now to get this, I'm going to leave a full detailed tutorial, link down in the description down below for you guys, because it is quite a lengthy process. But just to summarize, when you complete this quest, or before you complete the quest actually, when you're in the Cabot House itself and you've done a few of the quests in there, basically what will happen is you'll have access then to one of the main rooms on the top floor. And in the main room on the desk, you will find the Zeta gun there, which is a uniquely named Gamma gun. I mean, I don't think it does anything special apart from just being a uniquely named Gamma gun, but that is the Zeta gun. And when you eventually complete the rest of the quest line throughout the Secret of the Cabot House, towards the very end, you'll have the option to either kill Lorenzo or save him. You would definitely want to kill Lorenzo in this situation. This is the only way that you will be able to get the Lorenzo's artifact. Now once you've killed him and you report it back to Jack Cabot, he'll basically tell you to wait a week in game, And once you've waited a week in game and reported back to him, he will then give you the Lorenzo's artifact. Once again, just for the fact that it's a telekinetic gamma gun itself is pretty damn awesome, and definitely a unique weapon that you may want to obtain. Once again, a full detailed tutorial and everything to do with this quest itself will be linked down in the description down below. And for the final weapon today, this is one that I didn't cover in my heavy weapons video, but this is one of the most obvious ones, the CRYOLATOR. This is pretty much a weapon that freezes your targets, which is definitely pretty awesome, and you get it pretty much at the start of the game, or it's not really at the start of the game when you obtain it, but you come across the weapon at the start of the game, and this is just before you're leaving Vault 111. You'll find it in a case, essentially, as you can see here, and you'll need Master Lockpicking to actually obtain this. So as you've guessed, you get Master Lockpicking, go ahead and open the case, and you'll obtain the CRYOLATOR unique weapon. Definitely an awesome weapon to obtain as well for you collectors out there. And that, my friends, is a wrap up of this video today. The idea behind this was to try and make a hub of the majority of the unique energy weapons that you can find within Fallout. And as well, I'll leave timestamp links in the comment section down below for each weapon for you guys. I know a lot of you out there do prefer it when that is actually the case, and you can see exactly which timestamp to go to. So I'll try and leave it in there straight away as soon as the video goes live. If not, it will be shortly afterwards, and you can come back to the comment section and see the full timestamps there waiting for you. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video today and do want to see more videos similar to this in the future, especially when Fallout 4 DLC comes out, be sure to leave a like down below. Your support, of course, is always greatly appreciated on the channel. As well, once again, be sure to check out Good Idea Gaming down in the description down below. Subscribe if you guys are new around, and I'll catch you guys next time with a brand new video. Peace out.